Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world and joining me for this live. Thank you for joining me. My name is Sreshtha Tewari. I'm an emotional intelligence love coach and quantum journeys hypnotherapist. I help heart-centered, high-achieving women get understanding, clarity, and transformation in their love life. And I also help women magnetizing soul love. So today I wanted to talk about overthinking and the dangers of overthinking. Now, overthinking is really a safety strategy. It is your way of processing your fears and believing that you are dealing with some unknown fear or unknown lack of understanding. But what overthinking actually does is it puts your mind in overdrive, taking up your power. And what that results in is your inability to follow your heart and to follow intuitive messages. So if you think about it, overthinking takes you out of your body and into your mind. So if you have a situation, let's just say there is some future situation and you are contemplating possible outcomes, you can create many different outcomes in your mind, some of them good, some of them bad. Most likely, the ones you spend the most time on are the not so good ones or the bad ones, taking up a lot of space and mental capacity in doing that processing. And this in itself is dangerous because whatever you are spending time on, whatever you are focusing on, what you are giving power to is the situation that is more likely to happen in your life, because life is actually created by your thoughts and your perceptions. So when you are trying to think about all of the different possibilities of a situation, that's one level. And the other level is really going into, oh my gosh, what if this does not go the way we wanted? What is going to happen? And that, in effect, is also creating and giving more power to the situation you don't want happening. And another reason that we overthink, of course, too, is that fear of rejection. So let's say maybe you're going for an interview or maybe you're going on a date and you are thinking about the possibilities of what can happen. We think it's safe to think of how things would go wrong and then come up with a strategy around that. But if you put more focus on what can go right and how it can go right and play that in your mind, you will actually find that whatever situation you're going to actually plays out more in a more favorable way than if things were to go wrong. Okay. And this, of course, the basis of this projection of negative outcomes and possibilities lies with your self-esteem and your self-worth and being okay with failure and being afraid of failure and having a perception of what failure means. Because if you were okay with failing, if you saw failing as a platform, a step up, a level up to know what lessons to take, what to do differently, then you wouldn't have any issue with whatever the outcome is. You wouldn't need to overthink. Okay, so overthinking is really a safety strategy for you based on your self-worth and your self-esteem. And based on your worth and your self-esteem, that informs how much overthinking you employ in order to traverse your situations. Now, what overthinking does is, as I think I mentioned in the beginning, is it takes you out of your body. So your body has sensation. Your body has feeling. We actually receive messages from that divine being, whoever you believe in, the universe, through sensations in our body. When you come out of your body and go into your mind, you avoid these sensations. So one of the reasons that we go into our mind is because we were taught that feeling was bad. We were taught that having especially so-called negative feelings, there are no negative feelings, but those perceived as negative by society, are bad and shameful and you shouldn't be experiencing them, and something is wrong with you if you're experiencing them. You're not strong enough. You are not trying hard enough. And these things that were put into our mind when we were small actually inform how we behave now. So when we feel the sensation, we get more comfortable when we go into the mind to try to figure out what the sensation is telling us. And that is why my coach, Annie Lala, she says we have the feeling and the story about the feeling. And that story about what you're feeling can vary from person to person. And that ties into how you perceive things. So when you come out of your body, what you are actually doing is reducing the chances of getting guidance from your soul, from that spiritual power in respect of your life. Okay, because you are going into your mind, you are ignoring sensations in your body, and you're making yourself feel bad for it. And then you're making up a story that is not necessarily true, but helps you deal with that sensation in your body. Another thing that happens when we overthink, or a product of overthinking, or maybe it's the other way around, is it actually means that you are dysregulated. Your nervous system is dysregulated and trying to find a way to cope. And that dysregulation, again, once you are dysregulated, you are closing off doors of possibilities for those intuitive hits. And that is why you can be working really, really hard on something, trying to figure it out, really concentrating, really focusing, and your mind is blocked. You feel like you're blocked because you are literally blocked with all the thoughts in your head. And then you can take a break, you can go for a jog, you can relax, and bam, you suddenly get the answer you're trying to think your way to. The reason that answer comes is because when you go and you relax, you create space in your body and in your mind to receive the answer. Whereas before, your mind was muddled, processing thoughts. So that is another way in which overthinking is actually harming you, because of the answers that are coming to you. They need space to land. They need an antenna to be up and focused and ready. And that focus comes from relaxation, which is different to what we thought. But when you relax, you actually are much more productive than when you're busy trying to think your way through something. So that premise of the overthinking and the overanalyzing getting you what you want is actually a false premise. It is actually blocking you from things that are really true for you and things that can really help you. And you're just going to keep getting more and more frustrated the more you participate in the overthinking and the overanalyzing. For example, this week or maybe last week, I had a client, and she got so much information on her hypnotherapy session. And I will share on that in another live. And so I was following with her, and I was asking how she's going, and she actually told me she's going well. She's not as agitated, and she was tripping over herself and stuff before, and she's not doing that anymore. And she remembers the session. So sometimes you remember the session vividly, sometimes you don't. She said she remembers a lot of it, and she told me she was trying to think about it and figure it out. And I told her, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that at all. All she needed to do was be playful at it. Like, wow, this is so amazing. I have such a connection to messages and divine messages. And that's all you need to do. Be playful with it. Let go of thinking what it means. And intuitively, the meanings will come. The messages will come in a better way than you ever thought possible. Because once you relax, you open the space for receiving what you need to receive. So I really want you to think of overthinking as mental imprisonment, because that is what it is. It is mental imprisonment. It is you making a choice to imprison yourself with your thoughts, and you thinking that this is helping me come up with all possibilities for a situation. It is probably doing that, but it is also giving more power to the situations you don't want, because you're going to spend more time figuring out the way to safety from the situations you don't want, giving that more power and increasing the propensity to create that in your life, because we create your experience, your human experience, from your thoughts, your perceptions, your beliefs, and your emotions. And this is actually something I'll be going deep into in my Self and Soul Love retreat that I'm having in June, how we actually create our reality, because we do. It is not, life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. And when you learn how to traverse that space and create what you want, you're going to get a completely different experience in your life. I was once a major overthinker, right? That's what I knew to do best. Overthink, overanalyze, find the most logical, plausible solution for something. And I did pride myself on it. I was proud of myself because I was taught to be. However, when I started learning to let go, when I started regulating myself, regulating my emotions, and learning to relax, I got so many more intuitive hits. That's how I ended up here, because my background is very, very academic. My degrees in chemistry, my MBA is in finance. And here I am as a love coach and a hypnotherapist. And it is the best job ever. And that is because I relaxed enough to follow the intuitive hits I was getting. So if you're an overanalyzer, I want to invite you to come to the Self and Soul Love retreat, where you are going to learn many different things, including how to create, how to work with those thoughts. And I am going to be doing exercises with you. So I'm not just going to be giving you information like in a university and you're just going to go away and nothing's going to change. I am going to be doing exercises with you. We are going to be practicing it. And after 4 days of practicing it, you are more likely to continue doing those exercises in your real life, in your everyday, day-to-day life. I'm also going to be doing a lot of emotional clearing with you, a lot of releasing and helping you to step back into your power. So if any of that resonates, join the Self and Soul Love retreat, www.purposefullypassionate.com. I have all of the information there. Please go and check the website. I realize people don't check the website. All of the information is there, including the cost for accommodation. So the price on the website is the price for the retreat. If you're staying at the Magdalena, you do get a discount code, and you can split that accommodation cost with somebody. Bring somebody else who needs this kind of help, who wants to transform their life, who doesn't want to spend the rest of their life out of their body, because once you're thinking, you are out of your body and you're in your mind. And I could do a whole other live on the feelings and the story about the feelings. Okay, so go check it out. Register now, book your plane ticket early. If Caribbean Airlines doesn't have flights, call around. Travel agents do have spaces because they block seats. And or if you're coming by boat, book your boat ticket early as well. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And remember, for every ticket bought for the retreat, I'm going to donate 100 TT dollars to the Trinidad shelter. Domestic abuse awareness is something that is really important to me, especially mental and emotional abuse, which more affects high achieving women. So by coming to this retreat, not only do you support yourself, but you also support a really good cause, and you promote wellness tourism in Tobago. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll see you guys again soon. Sending all my love. Bye.